So now, I had referenced how young girls today weaken men by just being easy, for a lack of a better term. It's a little ridiculous today how young girls dress, and parents condone that shit and say, well, that's the way it is. Any mother who says that to you about the way her child dresses should be smacked in the mouth and put in place, put in check. Because, when I was a kid, there was a certain few girls who dressed like whores and tramps, and you knew who they were. And you knew where they were going, you knew what they were for. Today it seems like it's much more than the majority of the way girls dress today, young girls. I mean, leave something to the imagination. Have some class. I don't understand these young girls who want to just exploit themselves to young hormonal boys who can't control themselves. I think it's ridiculous. And I think if these young hormonal boys had to control themselves, or could in fact control themselves, they'd be stronger because of it. I mean, I watch these nature channels with lions protecting their pride and killing for their pride and defending their pride. And I watch these lionesses hunting and killing to feed their families. Well, I got news for you. When the shit hits the fan here, there's going to be none of that. We're going to get walked on, stamped out, and whoever wants to take us over is going to own our ass because of the weakness which is within. And I don't know. I don't understand how back to the young girls dressing like tramps, which is part of the weakening of society, is condoned by parents. I mean, what kind of father are you to allow your daughter to dress the way they dress? And I'm talking to the guy who knows who I'm talking to. You're a fucking weakling. You need a smack in the mouth, and you need to get your daughter in check. Now, the young boys who disrespect women, who treat women like garbage, basically learn from their parents. So, we're on to the parenting is everything trip. And I believe parenting is everything. And the problem with the world today is a few different things. Number one, parents are weak. They're weak. They can't control themselves, so they give up on controlling their children and they let things happen as they may. I don't believe in that shit. I believe in fighting for what's right, doing the right thing, at the sake of throwing yourself under the bus to say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to buy into my son treating women as objects and my daughter treating herself as an object. And I don't know, when I was a kid, I had to be on my game. I had to kind of wear nice clothes. I mean, this is just me in my little circle. I had to go ahead and have a nice car. I was on my own at 17. It was a little different. But I worked my ass off to keep myself in check. So when I went out to meet a girl, I did the right thing. I met her old man. I told her what time I'd be home, and I got her home and shit like that. But there were the girls that, would meet you anywhere dressed like tramps to go out for a good time, and they were different than the girls that you want your daughter to be. They were the girls that, had that broken family, the divorce thing. That's a whole nother fucking program I'm talking about. Divorce. What a crock of shit. You know what? Listen, at the end of the day, we have too many options in life, and I don't know who to blame, but ultimately the dumbing down and breaking down of society stems from family. It's like a core thing, and it's just getting destroyed. We need to kind of tighten that up, and ultimately, I'm babbling, I know this, but divorce is too easy. And I think people get married too stupidly. Listen, when you're with somebody and you're about to get married and your friends are like, oh shit, are you serious? Listen to them. Because maybe you shouldn't do it. Between unwed mothers and divorcing, this world is a fuck scene. It's a fuck scene. And that is a simple, basic thing that should be addressed. And if those two items were solved, now just think about this for 1 minute. Think about no unwed mothers. Think about no more divorce. we would build some hell of a strong society. And I'm all for survival of the fittest. I'm all for fuck everything, get rid of the police, get rid of anything that controls the political system. Let's just talk about politics for a minute. Let me tell you something. Here's the problem with the world. There's 100% of people in the world. 50% of them are assholes and idiots and should have no rights, however they do. Now, it's up to a politician to ascertain those votes in order to go anywhere. Now, with that said, you have to suck ass to these losers who shouldn't be able to vote at all in order to get that majority vote. And then you got to play that game and do that dance when you do get the job to say, hey, I'm trying to do the right thing. And you know you never do. You say what everybody wants to hear to get in office. And then it's like, well, I'm in. Fuck everybody. Let me do what the hell is on the agenda and what pays better. So I believe we just totally get rid of the whole fucking political system and anything that is law. And survival of the fucking fittest. I know I'll survive. Man up. You know, I'll shoot rabid dogs for food in the street to feed my family. I don't care. I'll shoot somebody that approaches my property in a demeaning manner. I don't care. It's heading that way in a downward spiral right now. So why not just fuck it? Let's get rid of everybody. Let's see what happens. I'm all for flipping the switch, getting rid of the politics, putting the law system to the side for a minute, and let's see who survives. And at that juncture, when the world is a cleansed place of the weak, we can then move on to build a better place and bring law back in order. Because you know what? There's just way too many people in the world, and that's apparent by what takes place in today's society. It's just, you know, putting people in jail for life, there's just not enough room in the earth for that. If you've done something so bad and you deserve to be in jail for life, well, you know what? You don't deserve to be on the earth. It's that simple. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Because you know what? It's a little ridiculous that we have the systems in place we do to clothe, feed, and educate people who have killed, raped, pillaged, and murdered. And I'll reiterate my famous saying of death to pedophiles by means of torture. It's something I believe in, and I will tell you why. Ultimately, the most important thing in the world are children that are terribly overlooked today. Just simply overlooked. And people pop out babies to get checks. They have kids just because it's the thing to do, and they don't think about what it takes to bring a child up properly. And, you know, it's a problem we have. But the worst thing that could ever happen to a child, I believe, is a pedophile. Hands down. And I've known people who work in that arena who describe to me things that they've worked on, and it sickens me. And I believe simple, after all the bullshit in the world and all the nonsense and all the headache, the reality is this. Pedophiles are the single most worst thing in the world that can happen. So they need to die a slow, horrible death. And it should be public. People should see this. So the next time a guy thinks about harming a child, they'll think twice about what they've seen. You know, I don't know. This whole fucking world, this stupidity and the nonsense. I mean, shit, I'm a successful guy. I'm happy, I'm content, I'm doing all right. So you know what? I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut. You know, it is what it is. I can talk shit like this because I don't have to answer to anybody. Fuck anybody who doesn't agree with what I do. I don't care. But I value your opinion. You know, I'm going to skip on to the hate thing. You know, there's all these people, hate crime, hate this. Fuck you. You're allowed to hate people. It's part of life. I hate a lot. It's okay to hate. It's not okay to act on that hate or disrespect somebody. And I'm fine with people who are different than I am. You know? I'm fine with people who think differently. I'm fine with people who have different religions and different views and different sexual preferences. That's all good. You know what? That's good for them. don't try to bestow it on myself, because I just have no interest in it. I like to think for myself, do for myself, and be myself, and do whatever the hell it is I want to do. And that's the way the world should be. But no, we're on this, mind control shit. There was a guy that tried it a long time ago. It didn't fare well. I don't remember Adolf? Yeah. You gotta let fucking people think. I mean, too many people, too many religions have this is the way it should be, and follow this, and blah, blah, blah. Look at all the killing, the death, the war, the stupidity because of people's thoughts based on religion and things of that nature that say, hey, you got to be like this. It's a one-way street. Well, you know what? Fuck you. It's not a one-way street. There are a lot of people in this world. There's got to be space for all of them. But what I don't like is there's a very large group of people who don't have the right to be in this world, and they're here. And we're paying for them to be here. And it's sad. And it's condoned. But you know what? It's all about the vote. It's all about how many pieces of shit can we keep in check to keep us in check. And again, I'm all for flip the switch, drop the bomb, let the weak die off. And by weak, I don't mean, innocent children and such. I believe they should be protected. Let me just put that in place. I believe, listen, when you're a single mom and not a single mom that pops out babies for checks, but a legitimate, lost your husband or things didn't go right and you're stuck with a kid, that's different. I believe any able-bodied man who has all his limbs and can work and do should have a fucking job. And it's not that, I can't find a job because the government, the society, fuck you. You're unemployable, all right? If you don't have a job and you're complaining about that, it's your fault, because if you walk the streets hard enough and knock on doors and take what's given to you, you'll find a job. But if you start getting drunk every day and eating pills and every other fucking thing there is to do in this world and don't show up to that job, well, guess what? You're not going to keep it, and you suck. So maybe you fall in that percentile of the weak that needs to be dealt with. All right, well, look, I'm done dicking around, driving around in circles. I got to get to work, run shit, do shit. But with that said, I'm just fed up, and I think we need to flip the switch. Let's see who survives. Let's flip that switch, and survival of the fittest, and, get rid of the politics. Get rid of the structure that keeps law in order. Let's let society dictate what law is. Let's let the strong, the people who produce, the people who do in this world, the people who think for themselves gather together and decide who stays and who goes, and how they go and how they stay. That's what I think. This bullshit, this whole structure, which has caused the weaklings that Americans are right now. I mean, we're so weak. Look at the stupidity on TV, for Christ's sake. Look at the internet. Look at how weak we are. Look at how stupid we are. And look at these punk-ass bitch kids who are going to go on this YouTube video and say, you should die from cancer. Your family should die. Well, you know what? You're that percent. When you make remarks and comments like that, you are that percentile of the weak. I don't know. It's okay to hate me. It's okay to say I don't like you. What you say is wrong, and you disagree. I'm cool with that, and I can respect you for that. But when you go on a guy's, video and you say his family or himself should die when they're not hurting people or doing something catastrophically wrong to a human being as such, you're an asshole. You're just an asshole. But yet, the internet has dumbed down society, has given the weak a voice online who would not have a voice in person. And when you see people comment on people's channels like, you should die, you suck, you're an asshole. Well, the suck and asshole thing, I can deal with that. It is what it is. But it's usually because that's a person, like a go-nowhere motherfucker who has nothing going on in his life. And at the end of the day, there's nothing going on in their life, so let me get on a computer and talk shit as if I have a life. All right, here we go with the traffic. All right, I'm done with this shit. I gotta go to work. I gotta wake up to reality. Get shit done.